It's a big family birthday party. All the cousins are the same age, around middle school. There's cake everywhere, balloons, pizza crust on the couch. By 8 p.m., the party's over. The adults are done. One of the aunts says, "All right, kids, that's a party. Nobody's leaving till we all help clean up." One cousin says, "No, I'm not cleaning this. I gotta go home, man. I mean, I don't want to clean it either, but what do we do?" "I have an idea." That cousin then just drops to the ground. Full body collapse, right on the floor, and everyone's screaming, "Oh my God, Corey! Corey, wake up!" The kid's not moving at all. One of the cousins is like, "Okay, bro, joke's over, stop." But Corey is just committing to this. His eyes are closed, he's limp, he's silent while people are shaking him. "Come on, Corey, get up, get up." What he didn't know was one of his uncles was in the kitchen and called 911. So now, paramedics burst into the house. "Where is he? Where is he?" That's when he's like, "I'm better now." Everybody explodes. The parents are furious. The cousins are like, "Bro, that was way too far." He's grounded for months. The ambulance leaves, and now all the cousins are forced to clean up double time. They didn't just have to clean up from the party. They had to now clean all the bathrooms and rake the yard. It was insane. So his little bit to get him out of cleaning made things 10 times worse. There was a school in Florida that tried to monetize the bathroom. It's so messed up. They gave every student 3 restroom credits a month. And if you ran out, each additional restroom credit was $5 each. This is insane. The principal called it time management training, which didn't make any sense. It's more like a human rights violation. Well, that's when a student named Marcus, what's up, realized that the school just created the most valuable currency on campus. "Okay, I got 2 credits left. I'll trade them for your pre-calc answers and your lunch." "Okay, cool, yeah, deal." Marcus became this bladder broker of sorts. "Hey bro, you never pee, right?" "No, just once before school and once at night." "I'll buy your credits off you." He would either trade these credits or sell them to students who were having an emergency for a massive markup. Now the crazy part is, he began trading, buying, and selling these credits very obviously in front of teachers in the hallway, because his plan was to get caught. So when the principal did catch on, "Marcus, I know what you're doing." "Oh, you do you? You cannot be trading, buying, or selling these bathroom credits." "Well, what are you gonna do about it, huh?" "Oh, well, you're gonna get in big trouble." "No, you're not, because listen up. You got a few options here. You can punish me, but then I'll go to the school board, tell them that you're charging students $5 to use the bathroom. Or you can let me continue and do nothing about it. Or your last and honestly best option, get rid of the credit system. It's a human rights violation, you freaking idiot." Out of my office now. By the next morning, the bathroom credit system was gone. And honestly, it was all thanks to Marcus. In this house, the entire family did something crazy. Every night, an alarm went off at 2 a.m. School nights, weekdays, holidays, it did not matter. Everyone had an alarm. And when it rang, you got up. You would then head down to the kitchen. Your milk. Once everybody was down there, the lights would turn on and the fridge would open. And the entire family would just grab stuff they wanted to eat. Didn't matter. Leftovers, cereal, meatballs, whatever existed in the fridge was free game at 2 a.m. Then they would sit around the table, half asleep, and eat whatever snacks they had. And they talked about nothing. And after about 15 to 20 minutes, they all went back to bed every single day. 10 p.m. they would sleep, 2 a.m. kitchen, morning, work, and school. And this kid, he never questioned it because he thought that that's just how families work. Well, when he slept over at a friend's house for the first time, he set his alarm for 2 a.m. And when it went off, he went down to the kitchen. And nobody was there. He waited there for about 6 minutes, but nobody came down. "I've been waiting here for about 6 minutes, but nobody's coming down." So he just goes back to bed, and in the morning, he brings it up to his friend. And his friend thought he was crazy. Well, yeah. This guy says that even now, years later, sometimes he will randomly wake up at 2 a.m., like his body's trying to get him to go to the kitchen. Just an instinct. And sometimes he does go down there and grabs a snack. That's nice. It started stupidly small. He's in his yard and he sees a single crow staring at him. "What's up, crow?" And he went inside and got a cracker, then tossed this one crow a cracker. Well, that's it. That's the moment his life changed forever. Because the next morning, there's 3 crows waiting. "Yo, there's 3 of you now. All right, here, 3 crackers." The next morning, there's 9 crows. Oh my God. A full-on crowd of crows waiting for their daily crackers every single morning. And it doesn't just stop there. If he walks to his car, they follow him. If he walks his dog, they're behind him, flying over, hopping on the sidewalk. Every so often, they would drop gifts to him, like a shiny gum wrapper, or a twig, or an apple core, like gifts. "Oh, thank you for the Slim Jim. I appreciate it." Then he realizes he's the leader of the crows. Every day they're there. They think of him like their mother. and he can't even take the trash out without crows surrounding him like Secret Service. It's absolutely insane. In 8th grade, this art teacher had a locked cabinet in the back of the room. It was kind of mysterious. She never talked about it, but once a week, she would go back there, unlock it, take out a small handful of things, and walk away. Kids would whisper, wondering what's inside. Is it expensive paints? Ancient artifacts? Animals? Well, one semester, this student named Riley was picked to stay after school one day to help clean some stuff up. The teacher leaves the room for 5 minutes, and that cabinet key is just sitting there on the desk. So he opens it slow and carefully.
Opening it slow and carefully.
Inside were stacks and stacks of goldfish cracker boxes. No art supplies, no ancient masterpieces, just enough frickin' goldfish crackers to feed a small country. When the teacher comes back in, Riley asks, "Cabinet goldfish! Why?" "Oh, it's my favorite snack. I take one handful per class.
And I just munch on them. I love them.
It was just her own personal snack cabinet. Who would have thought? Okay, listen to this. At this school, the water bottles in the cafeteria were sold for $3, but they were small and always warm. The only other option was the water fountains in the hallways, and those were absolutely disgusting.
Oh my god, it's green. That's disgusting.
The spouts were green, the water came out warm, and every time it tasted like pennies. That's when this dude named Ryan showed up with a plan. One day, he walks into school with a giant cooler bag and 2 of those big water jugs that were used to refill bottles.
Cold water, 50 cents to fill your bottle.
Well, turns out most kids didn't have a water bottle. So what Ryan did was he stopped charging people to fill their waters and instead sold reusable water bottles himself for $3 each. The second you bought a water bottle, you were in the system and you could get your water filled. Pretty soon, Ryan set up at lunch with 4 water jugs in this giant cooler bag and he's refilling everybody's water bottle. Kids, teachers, everybody. People were skipping the nasty water fountains and going straight for Ryan's ice-cold filtered water. And months later, by the time the school had actually replaced the water fountains with nicer ones, Ryan had made $400. And the entire school was carrying around the water bottles that he sold. What a genius. You gotta respect the hustle. This kid finds a wallet while he's walking into school, right there in the grass. Yo, wallet. He opens it. $500 in cash. Crisp. It's taunting him. His brain goes into panic mode. I want it. I mean, of course I want it. But it's not right. What do I do? I'll hold on to it for now. I'll decide later. So he puts the money back inside the wallet, he puts the wallet into his backpack, and he spends the next 2 periods sweating like he's hiding a frickin' body. In 3rd period, there's a substitute. "I will be your sub today." He says something. "I'm having a rough day, guys. I lost my wallet before school this morning, so let's just get through class." Kyle's soul leaves his body. He's thinking to himself, I can just keep it. He'll never know I have it. But he knows it's wrong. And then he thinks, wait, if I turn it in, he might be so happy he'll give me some of the money. Yeah, that's probably the better idea, right? Hey, I found this outside school today. I'm pretty sure it's yours. The sub doesn't really do anything. He snatches that wallet out of his hands. Go take your seat. Okay. And that was that. He didn't get any money, but at least he did the right thing, right? If you talk, I'm writing your name down, and you sit alone tomorrow. Understand? At this one small town school, the lunchroom rule was brutal. No talking at all. If you talked, your name went on the small board, and you had to sit alone by yourself at lunch the next day. Well, there was this one menace of a kid named Owen, and Owen was trying to cause some trouble. Watch this. He decided to drop a bunch of money in front of this one kid sitting down eating his lunch. The kid goes, oh, hey, is this yours? Name on the board, alone tomorrow. This kid's a menace. He never says a word, but every single lunch period, he's trying to trap kids into talking. And people are falling into this trap. He's flicking food at people, accidentally bumping trays onto the ground, straight up kicking kids in the shin. What the? And the teachers think Owen's a saint. Every time they look over, he's just sitting there, arms crossed, smirking. By the end of the month, the quiet lunch board is full every single day, with kids spread apart all over the cafeteria because they were sitting alone, except for Owen. Eventually, the school's like, that's it. This is obviously not working, so we're getting rid of this rule. And the rule was gone, and it was all because of Owen. What a frickin' rascal. At this school during lunch, milk cartons were free, and they were all just sitting on this table. So one day, these 3 5th graders, they stockpiled 20 milk cartons, shoving them in their backpacks, in their pockets, up their sleeve, and they take them out to recess. They walk over to the brick wall on the side of the building, and they just start chucking the milk cartons against the wall. Yeah, milk! Milk! The milk cartons are exploding, milk is spraying everywhere, a crowd gathers. Kids are cheering, they're watching this like it's a frickin' sporting event. Well, that's when somebody says, yo, the principal, he's coming! Oh crap. The three milk chuggers put their hoods up and they just disappear into the crowd. The vice gets there. All right, who did this? And it was instant snitching, names and details. The principal immediately starts searching for these kids. And there were close calls, but these guys were really sneaky. Hiding against benches, behind trees, in the slide. Somehow, they never get caught, and the rest of the day is a frickin' mission. At lunch, the principal and the vice principal are posted at the table that these kids usually sit at. Oh crap, he's right there. Let's eat in the band room. Milk! That entire day they managed to escape the wrath of the principal, and when school was over, they went home. But the craziest part is, some random kid cleaned up the milk wall by himself, just because he wanted to. When the principal went out and asked him why he was doing this, why are you doing this? Because it's the right thing to do. That's legendary. This is a super unique school business. So this dude would make end of the year videos, like a video yearbook. And at first, it looked like any end of the year video. Music, selfies, people walking to class, doing finger hearts. But then it would cut to black and the title would pop up. The real yearbook. You see, it turns out this one student had been filming everything all year. Not the school spirit stuff, not the assemblies, not the sports teams. He filmed all the chaos and the shenanigans. The 5-person fight in Spanish class. The time one Hawaiian roll started the biggest food fight in that school's history. Even the teacher's meltdown during second period.
You guys are the worst class I've ever had. Screw you.
And the edit of the results would be insane. Perfect cuts, super good sound design, transitions, and at the end of the year, he would tell people to report to room 108, which is one of the club rooms. It was after school, and he told people it was $2 to get in. Most people had no clue what this was about, but they paid anyway, and by 3:15, the entire room was packed with people. The lights go off, it's silent. He presses play and the projector goes. The video starts and it's epic. People are laughing, they're cheering, they're losing their minds. It was all the crazy stuff that happened that year in one perfectly edited video. When it was over, somebody said,
Yo bro, that was awesome. Run it back.
But he didn't. Instead, he pulled out this Tupperware container that was filled with flash drives. Each flash drive had the file of that video on it, and he sold them for $10 each. Guess what? They sold out and he made absolute bank. He did this exact same thing for a few years after this. And then he stopped. But seriously, what a genius idea. You gotta respect this kid's hustle. At this school, band kids were always clowned. Hey, nice clarinet, loser. What the heck? But especially this one kid named Eli. Eli played the French horn, and he took it everywhere he went. On the bus, assemblies, to class. And there was this one dude named Zach, and Zach would always give Eli crap for playing the French horn. Nice instrument, Eli. I bet it sounds like a dying whale. But Eli didn't let it get to him. Then came the spring concert. Big crowd, parents, staff, the gym was decorated, and Zach was there because his mom forced him to go because she was on the school board or something. Well, halfway through, the conductor goes, and now, a featured solo by our French horn player, Eli. And Zach's like, let's see this. Eli stands, French horn in hand, and he cooks. It's not just good, it's cinematic. The entire crowd stopped breathing during the solo because it was that beautiful. Finishes, there was a few seconds of silence, and then the crowd erupts. After the show, Zach walks over to Eli, and all he says is this. Hey man, yeah, you snapped. My bad for everything. Sorry. Eli doesn't say a word, he picks up his French horn, and he walks away. You see, it started in 5th grade. Every morning, he would flip open this little blue notebook. His notebook would have 2 columns. On the left, it would say prediction. On the right, it would say results. What was he doing, you ask? He was predicting people's sneezes. And to him, it wasn't a joke. But he would track sneezes every day. And the freaky part was, he got weirdly accurate. It would be math class. He would sit down, he would open the notebook. On the left, under prediction, he would put Ben. 10 minutes later, Ben would sneeze. Under result, he would put Ben. It would be English class. He would sit down. Under predictions, he would put Kylie. 15 minutes into class, Kylie would sneeze, but there were some days where he's like, I don't think anybody's gonna sneeze today. So under prediction, he would put nobody. You see what I'm saying with this? Nobody knew what the point was until the last day of school. Somebody asked him, yo bro, can I see your sneeze notebook? You know what, man? Yeah, here. And there it was, pages and pages and pages of sneeze predictions. And on the last page, the results. Total sneezes predicted correctly, 114. Incorrect predictions, 9. Accuracy rate, 92.7%. He gave the notebook back to the kid, the bell rang, and then it was summer break. I don't know why he did that, but it does kind of sound like a fun thing to do in class. Who's to say? This kid was sleeping over at his friend's house, and he wakes up in the middle of the night, hungry. I'm hungry. He remembers that there was graham crackers in the kitchen, and he figured that'll work. So he gets up and he steps out of the room, but the second he lays foot in the hallway, What? A motion sensor alarm goes off. Within seconds, the lights turn on and his friend's dad comes barging out of his bedroom. Who's out here? You. It's just me. I was getting a snack. The dad then pointed to multiple small boxes on the baseboard of the hallway. You see these, kid? Motion sensors. No one's allowed to leave their rooms after midnight. Heads back into the bedroom and his friend's awake. Hey bro, I'm sorry about that. Dude, that's so messed up. You have a curfew for inside your house. I know, it sucks. And this was so uncomfortable for him that he never slept at that house ever again. School's over this one day and this kid's grandpa pulls up. Windows down and he's waving his grandson over. Hey, come here. Hey, come on, I'm here. Kid's like, okay. Yeah, it wasn't his grandson. It was a kid that had the same jacket and the same backpack as him. But for some reason, the kid still gets in the car. And the grandpa starts driving away. So how was school, buddy? Kid's like, good. That's what I like to hear. The grandpa makes it halfway back home when the kid finally says, sir, I'm not your grandson. What? Oh, Jesus. Now cut back to the school. This kid's actual grandson's like, I don't know where he is. The grandpa then screeches back into the parking lot. I had the wrong kid. I have the wrong kid. That one's my grandson. Oh, hey, okay. Well, now I actually missed my bus. Do you think you can actually drive me home? Sure. So now he has his grandson in the car and the kid he thought was his grandson in the car. Dude, you got kidnapped by my grandpa. I know, it's crazy. The next day, those two sat by each other at lunch. And they've been best friends ever since. That is beautiful. Steven was a quiet kid that got bullied for everything, but one day he decided to change that. It was a second-floor classroom. Steven was sitting by the window, and he decided that today was the day he was not going to be bullied anymore and that he was going to become a legend. Now, the funny thing about Steven was that he was actually shredded. Well, the teacher was mid-lesson, and Steven opens up the window, and he jumps out. There was a single-story building right outside this window, so he just jumped down onto that. And then he started dancing. Like full-on dancing, poses, spins, his hands were in the air, frickin' jazz hands. One kid near the window said, bro thinks he's doing a halftime show. He was hyped. He thought he did a great dance, so he hopped down to the courtyard, walked back in school, and sat down in the classroom. But the thing is, nobody even saw him do it. Just that one kid by the window. Nice work, man. He was livid. He did all that because he wanted to be this legend of a kid who danced on the roof of the school building. But no one noticed him, so the next week he came and he did it again. Same class, same window, same routine, and again, nobody noticed. Did anybody see that? See what, Steven, huh? The world does not revolve around you. Pay attention to the lesson. I hate my life. So this kid had the biggest yard in the entire neighborhood. It's the yard that people always ended up hanging out at. But one summer, he had a bigger idea. He thought about those giant music festivals and how much money they make, and he thought, why not try to have one in my backyard? So first he held auditions. Bands, comics, magicians, whatever. Bring your instruments, bring your tricks, just show me what you got. And the best acts got a spot on the lineup. He built a stage out of stacked wood pallets and plywood. It wasn't fancy, but it worked. A friend brought an amp, some dude brought a microphone, it was all coming together. At the front gate of his yard, he had two friends working security. $10 a ticket. And inside, hot dogs and soda for $2 each, and his dad manned the grill. That night, the whole frickin' neighborhood showed up. Parents, kids, even people he didn't know. And the band was crushing it. Folding chairs around the bonfire, people dancing to the music, it was a beautiful sight. By the end of the night, they had made a really good amount of money. And he thought to himself, I'm gonna put this money towards doing it again next year. And that's exactly what he did. The next year, it happened again. Bigger and better. And he kept doing it. It wasn't just a big party. It became a tradition for the entire neighborhood, and they loved it. You gotta respect the hustle. This kid's an evil genius. At this school at the end of the year, they had a kindness award. The person who would win this kindness award would be given a $50 Dairy Queen gift card, 5 homework passes, and your picture on the wall of the main office. Well, the thing is, the person who won was voted on by a random committee of teachers. 5 teachers, different every year. So 2 months before the vote, this kid hatches a plan. He finds out who's on the committee. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Mrs. Stevens is the last one. Perfect. Once he found out, he starts doing the most calculated acts of kindness in front of each and every one of the teachers on the committee. For one teacher, he holds the door open for her every single morning. Ah, yes, good morning, Mrs. Stevens. Oh, how nice. Good morning, good morning. That's right, I'm nice. Another teacher, he brings in a plant labeled for your mental health and hands it to her. Here you go, Mrs. Johnson. I thought you would like this. Oh my God, I love plants. How kind are you? That's right, I'm kind. What was that? Nothing. Don't forget to water it. Bye. One time during lunch, he stands on a table and gives a speech about gratitude. And then after that, he walked around the cafeteria picking up trash, helping the janitors. It wasn't even subtle. One time, he handed a granola bar to one of the teachers and straight up said, "Here you go, for kindness." Well, aren't you just a nice student? And at the end of the year, he frickin' wins, and it's by a landslide. And that day, after school, he took that $50 Dairy Queen gift card, and he spent it all on himself. Needless to say, he had a terrible stomachache the next day. But hey, you gotta respect the hustle. It was lunchtime. Everyone is sitting on the lunch tables. It's pretty packed. And well, a chain reaction starts. The one where you punch someone in the shoulder and you say, "Pass it on." Pass it on. Pass it on. There's laughter, everybody's playing along. The row across for them sees this and then they join in as well. Well, it gets to this one kid. Pass it on. He bursts into tears. He's ugly crying. He's wailing so loud the whole cafeteria is staring at him. He bolts out of the lunchroom and goes straight to the office. No, you have to do something. He assaulted my son. I promise you we're gonna get to the bottom of this, okay? No, my son was assaulted. We demand expulsion. Cut to the kid being called into the office. Hey, I met with the kid's parents and the school board. I'm giving you a 120-day expulsion. Wait, for real? It was a game. Everybody was playing. Shut your mouth. 120 days. Even some of the kids that were at the table tried to go to the principal's office to explain that, yo, this was actually a harmless game and everybody was playing. That kid is just being a baby. But he didn't listen. And that kid was expelled for 120 days. And here's the worst part. After 120 days, he was allowed to come back. But if he messed up one time by even getting a detention, they would put him on a permanent expulsion. That's kind of messed up. It started at lunch one day when this kid pulled out a Ziploc bag of perfectly peeled orange slices. It was clean, cold citrus. Immediately, the kid next to him goes, "Yo, can I have one?" "Yeah, for $1." The next day he brings 2 bags. The day after that he brings 5 bags. He starts charging people $1 per baggie. And people actually paid. Business was absolutely booming. He calls it the Fresh Citrus Company, and he draws his logo on each Ziploc bag with a Sharpie. It's an orange with sunglasses on. Within a couple weeks, business was booming so much that he was bringing these unpeeled oranges to school, and he had hired 2 other students to help him peel them throughout the day. He had to train them on how to peel because part of his business was having the perfectly peeled orange slices. He called these guys his citrus team, and he split some of the profits with them. But it all ends when a teacher pulls him aside and tells him that he has to stop.
You aren't allowed to sell food on school grounds unless approved by the district. You're shut down.
He challenged this, but then the principal got involved and it was kind of a whole thing, so the business was shut down. That day, he got together with his citrus team. They each had one last slice together, and they went their separate ways. It's been an honor, team. I will peel oranges for you anytime. Godspeed. Godspeed. You gotta respect the hustle. A freezing rainstorm hits overnight. Morning comes, and every single porch on the block is a sheet of ice. People are stepping outside trying to go to work, but they're slipping all over the place. But one kid, Billy, he planned for this. He saw the winter storm warning early. So the day before, he went to Home Depot, and he bought 4 giant bags of ice melt with his Christmas money. And that morning, at 7 a.m., he's outside in slip-proof boots, dragging a red wagon full of salt. $3, I'll melt your whole porch and driveway. $3, I'll melt it all. And the people that didn't have salt themselves, because this was very unexpected storm, they paid him. Take my money. Oh, take my money. Milk, milk. So he's sprinkling, he's scraping, ice is melting, neighbors are getting to their cars, other neighbors see, they want to use his service as well. Business is booming on this crazy morning. And anyone who says, I'm not paying for your salt, fine, then you can slip. Wait, come back, here. They always give in. He made some really decent money that day, and ever since then, they called him the Winter King. He was a lifesaver, and honestly, genius. Gotta respect the hustle. It was week 2 at summer camp. One kid realized the lake wasn't just for swimming. It was for business. He dragged a canoe down to the dock, and instead of just paddling around, he offered rides. And these weren't just regular canoe rides. He called them customized canoe experiences. The first customer was a kid trying to impress his crush. The canoe kid cleans the canoe, he pulls out a Bluetooth speaker, puts on love songs, throws down blankets as seat cushions, and hands them a pack of Twizzlers. Boom, $10 romantic canoe ride. This is nice. I like canoes. The next ride was a totally different vibe. 2 kids wanted to skip rocks in the middle of the lake. The canoe kid plays rap music and brings a bunch of flat rocks in a bucket. He takes them out there and lets them go wild. Boom, $10. Soon he's offering packages. There was the silence special for the kids that were fed up with their bunkmates. Soft music, calm paddling, and no talking for 20 minutes. It was like a meditation on the lake. And these customized experiences were spreading like wildfire. Everybody wanted to get a trip on this magical canoe. And by the end of camp, he made a pretty decent chunk of money. And the kids loved the service he provided. So yeah, you gotta respect the hustle. Mrs. Johnson is intense. Every day after school, Mrs. Johnson's car would be waiting in the pickup line. Silver minivan, country music, air freshener shaped like a cowboy boot. She drove the same 3 kids home every afternoon, but she had one rule. Before you got in the car, you had to say, "Thanks for the ride, Mrs. Johnson." Then before you got out, "Thanks for the ride, Mrs. Johnson." Same thing every single day. And if you forgot, you were screwed. On Tuesday, one of the kids, Evan, was running late. His backpack half zipped, sprinting to catch the minivan before it left. He yanks the door open and slides into the seat. But he forgot something. What did you forget? Nothing. Everything's here. I'm good to go. Try again. Thanks for the ride, Mrs. Johnson. Too late. Out of the car. No, please. My parents are both at work. I have no one to take me home. Out of the car. No. He steps out and she drives off. By the time this kid's mom picks him up, it's an hour and a half later, and the sun's beginning to set. That next morning, Mrs. Johnson picks Evan up at his house. And this time, he doesn't forget. Thanks for the ride, Mrs. Johnson. See? That wasn't so hard, was it? This kid used to be popular. What's up, Carla? Hey, what up, Johnny? Hey, look, it's the loser, Steven. Screw you, Steven. He used to be untouchable. He would bully a bunch of people, his friends would laugh, the girls in the school loved him, and so did the teachers. But one Monday, he came back to school with a haircut. And it was bad. No, it wasn't just bad. It was horrible, like a frickin' cartoon villain. Hey guys, how we doing today? What's up, Carla? What? You look like Coconut Head. What happened to you? Your haircut sucks. And like I said, it was actually bad. Like, it was uneven, there wasn't a fade, it was just cut horribly. And just like that, it was over. Every day, kids would laugh at him. Even when his hair grew back and he had a normal haircut, people still made fun of him. He eventually just stopped talking in the halls, in class, to his friends. He would eat lunch alone. Kids were making jokes as he walked by. And that's how the king of the school turned into the punchline of everyone's jokes. Hey, that's karma for you. It's a Saturday afternoon. This mom's at the park with her 2 kids when her neighbor drives up. Hi, can you watch my kids for just like 10 minutes? I have to run to the grocery store. Yeah, sure, just 10 minutes, right? Yes, 10 minutes tops, and I'll come pick them up right back here. Well, 10 minutes turn into 2 hours. They're at the park still. Her kids and her neighbor's kids, exhausted. Everybody wants to go home. No sign of the mom, no texts, nothing. She's not answering her calls. Hold on, kids, I'm just trying to get a hold of your mom. She's not picking up. Come on. Well, now it's getting dark, and they can't just keep staying at the park. So she takes her kids and her neighbor's kids in her car, and she drives to the neighbor's house. She pulls up in the neighbor's driveway, and there's her neighbor's car, parked. What the heck? The lights are on inside the house. She grabs the kids, goes up to the front door, and knocks. The neighbor opens the door, holding a bag of popcorn, and the TV was on. Oh, thanks for bringing them back. Have a great day. Come on, kids. What the heck? No thank you, no apology, just shuts the door. And that's when the mom realized her neighbor never had to go to the store. She just wanted time off from her kids. That's messed up.
Final decision লয়ে লইছি আজকে রাতে কিন্তু আপনার লগে ঘুমামু আমার লগে কেন বাজান আপনি আমার লাগে ঘুমাইবেন কেন?
জিন্দেগি তুই এইটা আর পোষাইতে পারবি না বাজার তোর আমি সাবিয়া দিতাছি তুই জলদি
ক্যাচে লাগাইছে।
মা তুই এক কাম কর, জামাই লইয়া শ্বশুর বাড়ি জাগা। হুন মা, শ্বশুর
এই তো একেবারে বাঘের বাচ্চা
ফুদি দে।
আচ্ছা বাঘের মতন যাবি
আমি কইতাছি ওখানে খুইলা আসো নালে আমি টাইনা ছিড়া ফেলামু কইলাম।
আমার খানদানি পোশাক তুমি টাইনা ছিঁড়া ফেলাইবা?
আমার ফোন দাও।
নিবারা আমারে কইছো বন্ধুর লগে কথা কও, তুমি তো অ্যাঞ্জেল সোনিয়ার লগে কথা কও কি?
তারপর বউরে দিয়া হাত পাটি পাইছে এর বাদে বউরে কইছে পানি লয়ে আহো, বউ পানি লয়ে আইছে এই পানি দিচ্ছে ফালায়া।
আম্মা আব্বা রুটি সুরত দেখছেন? রুটি এরকম তেরে বাগা খেলা, হ্যাঁ রুটি সুন্দর। আব্বা আমারে না হয় তুমি বুঝাইলা, তুমি তোমার খানদানের কি বুঝাইবা, আমার আত্মীয় স্বজনের কি বুঝাইবা?
আমি দুঃখিত।
বইয়ের হাতে মার খাওয়া চলে, তাই কিছু কই নাই কা।
আমাগোর খানদানে জামাই মারনের নিয়ম নাই কা।
তুই আমার এখান থেকে যাবি না মানে কি? অক্ষণ তুই বেরোবি।
আব্বা
কুইলজা কাপে না?
ওই বেটা ওই তোর কইলজা কাপে না মিছা কথা কইতে, হ্যাঁ হারাম খোর জানি কোনখানকার।
মাগার মারামারিতে 1 নম্বর।
আমি পারি। এখন মনটা চাইতেছে তোমার কান্দের উপর চড়ায় একটা আসান মারি।
ঠিক আছে ভাইজান, আমার মুখ চুপ বন্ধ থাকবো, আর কেউ আমি কিছু কমু না, মুখে কষ্টি।
এখন লাইনে আইছস।
তুমি কিন্তু আমার একটা ভিডিও কলও করো না। সোনিয়া, অ্যাঞ্জেল সোনিয়া।
তুমি কি শুরু করছো?
আরে আমি করলামটা কি? আমি যেখানে বয়ে আছি।
এই আমার ফোন দাও, দাও কইতাছি।
ছাড়ুম না।
কি দাও? ছাড়ো কইতাছি, আমার ফোন দিব না আমি।
এইটা আমগো খানদানি রীতি, তুই বুঝছ না?
আব্বা গতকালকে রাত্রে বেলা এমন সেটিং দিছি। আব্বা ফোন দিয়ে কি করেন আপনি?
এই কথা কই, গান শুনি, এই আর কি।
বাস এই 2টা কামের জন্য।
হায় হায় করছে কি আমার খানদানির ইজ্জতের ফালুদা খেয়ালাইছে।
তোবা তোবা, কস কি? এত বড় বদ জামাই।
হারামজাদায় আমার মা।
তুমি বাসে আসার পর থেকে আমাকে বাসে শান্তি সব চলে লাগেছে।
হায় হায় খাইছে করছোটা কি তুমি?
তুমি একটা ভিডিও কল করে পাঠাও প্লিজ, প্লিজ। কবে আমগো দেখা
কোচিনটা কি এটা আব্বার লগে এমন চিপা মাইটা দিয়েছেন? ও কেমন খানদান বউ? তারপর তো ভয় কাচে মুচু খায়া গেছে গা, তারপর আবার দুর্নাম করতে হইব। এই তোর কি তোর দামি ফোন?
আইসে বাপ জান, রাইতে ঠিকঠাক মতো ঘুমাইছে তো নাকি বাসায় গিয়া আব্বাজান রে কইবেন?
কি করছো যেটা তুই? বাজার রে বাজার যাও চুইছে আজকাই করছে।
এই খবরদার ভদ্র মহিলা, আমার ফোন দাও, নইলে কিন্তু আজকে খুন খারাপ।
এটা রাখ, এই জিলাপি কিনা রইছে তোর।
আমি জিলাপি খাই না।
সপ্তে বাসর রাইতে রাজা বাদশা সাইজা বাসর ঘরে আমদাইছে।
ওগো কতদিন ধরে তোমার লগে আমি কথা কইতাছি মাগার
কি করো নাইকা হ্যাঁ আরো থেকে অনেক পর থেকে কি করতেছো ফোনের ভিতরে হান্দায় রয়েছো
আব্বাই তো ও মা গো মা, আব্বাই তো দেখি হেভি পাঙ্খ।
হুম নিশ্চয়ই কোনো ভেজাল আছে ওই দেখি কার লগে ফিল্ডিং মার
কি আবার সকাল সকাল ঘুম ভালো হইছে, তোমার আব্বার লগে দেখা কইরা এলাম, হাইটটা গেছিলাম, এই ঘটনা।
তুমি রাগ করো না,
রাখতে তুমি করবা, খারা খারা চায়া দেও।
আমি তো ভাবছি ডাকাত পড়ছে নি।
এই শাহজাহানগর বাড়িতে ডাকাত আইবো এমন কোন মায়ালাল পয়দা হইছে নি? তোমার বিছানা আমি ভিজায়া দিছি গা।
এটা তুমি কি করছো?
কি করছি, ঘুমাইবা না? তোমার পূর্বপুরুষের মাথায় কি সমস্যা ছিল আব্বা?
নাটকের পর কয় কি শুনছো ওই বেটা?
আব্বা জান, আপনার পোলারে এখন জিগান তো রুটি গরম না ঠান্ডা?
বাপরে বাপ, শুনছো নি একেবারে ডর দেয় তো বলে খুশি খুশি করে কাটতো হয়েছে। আপনার ডর আপনার পকেটে থুয়া দেন।
খানদানটা আমার কত উচ্চা দেখতে হইব না?
দেখতেছি তো উঁচা ভি আর লম্বা ভি, কুচি কুচি করে না কাইটা ফেলাইছি আব্বা। আমার তো মনে করে যখন ডর দেখাইতে দেখাইতে আমি দেখেন আপনি কি করি ঘরে আইলাম না, এখন দেন না আসমানে ঠাড়াল্লাহান একেবারে কাঁপাইয়া দিমু।
আচ্ছা আপনার